Joining us now on In-Flight Snack, another fan favorite. I always say Bilal is one of the fan favorites, and we have another one today, Quincy Enunwa. Quincy, thank you for doing this, buddy.
No, yeah, of course, man. I had to get on, man. Bilal's my guy, and listen, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Appreciate you being here. I want to ask this right away because I know you spent some time with the team. So before we get into anything else, I don't even know how to ask this question. Just Garrett Wilson, go. What do you see? I mean, he's so freaking talented.
He is, man. Listen, I tell everybody, man, Ohio State does a really good job of putting out receivers, man. I don't know what they're doing in there, but it's a factory, man. And you watch Garrett Wilson, and immediately he jumps off the screen with his ability. Like catching the ball is one thing, but also route running. Like he's so smooth. He's got so much detail. And he doesn't rush. Like I feel like I tell receivers a lot. I tell them you got to play the game at your speed. Like too many times guys are rushing to go get the ball, and then everything else is just so fast and you can't even make the move that you need to make. But like his is like he's like so focused on just getting his route done, you know? So yeah, I appreciate him, man. He's a really good receiver.
Man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, bro. You know, you always was my dude, man. And you know,
Yeah.
I've been a fan of yours since you walked in the building, man. Just like Quentin. I told him, man, there are certain guys that come in the room, they come into the locker room, and they just earn that veteran respect. And you were one of those guys. But you know, we're talking about Garrett Wilson, man. What is it about Garrett Wilson on the preparation side? Like a guy that comes in that's drafted high, that separates himself from a rookie year to now. Like, how does that preparation go about? Like when does it click to you as a rookie coming into the building?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like it's so hard. And I mean, you know, we played, you know, for a few years, and you see a lot of different first round draft picks come in. And, you know, it's tough to see a guy make an impact like he did. Him and Sauce, right? Like to have a rookie class that has 2 first round picks that go in there and rookie of the year, like that's how you know they're just different, man. Like you know, when I watch him in practice and stuff, I really see him, you know, really kind of taking care of the details. So that's always going to be my thing with him, is like you can just tell he's real detail oriented and just about football. You know, the passion comes out. He seems like a quiet guy, but then when he's on the field, you really see the passion come out, you know. And I think that's another thing that I like about him. You know, it's like he lets it all out on the field, you know.
You saw that in Hard Knocks, right? Where he's so riled up when he's on the field, and off the field he seems like this, like you said, like a quiet, reserved guy. There was they had him in the car driving to practice and he's quiet and whatever. And I thought the video that came out of his dad, I think it was on draft day. Do you remember that video? I don't know if you guys remember this, but on draft day, his dad talking to him, like telling him just stay humble and keep working hard. And you see it with him every day.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely comes out, you know, and you know, it's a testament to obviously to his parents, and you know, Ohio State did some good things with him as well. I mean, he's a baller, man.
So another thing on Hard Knocks was Aaron Rodgers. That ended quickly. Bilal, you want to ask about that? Go ahead.
Because you know we've talked about it, and it's been headlines for we don't know how long right now. So excited to get Aaron Rodgers in. Jets were in the Super Bowl contending conversation, and then we see him go down after 4 plays. And then you see all this media stuff coming around the fact that Aaron Rodgers is trying to return this year after an injury that usually sits guys down for an entire year.
Right.
I mean, they're rehabbing all the way into the next year, right?
Right.
You had a serious injury.
Mm.
You and I had the same injury, as a matter of fact. What is that journey like in recovery? You know, I want you to explain, because I want people to understand Rodgers' mentality.
Yeah.
Of going down, expecting a great year, you go down with an injury that not too many people come back from.
Right.
Explain what is it like, man, on that recovery journey?
Yeah, bro, it's tough, you know. But you know what though, and maybe you can also speak to this too. Like I would love to know your perspective on it, but I feel like the hardest thing for at least our injury is it's not like something that stops us from being able to move. Like we still can move the same way. So really the most part of the journey is going into the doctor's office and seeing how good your fusion was today. You know what I mean? Like looking at the X-ray, like, oh, it's a little bit darker on the fusion, you know. But like, just in terms of like the process, I don't know. It wasn't like, I don't feel like it was like a knee. You know, does that make sense? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like I'm gradually getting somewhere. I'm just living life and not playing football right now, you know, and doing like small exercises, but it's not stopping me from doing anything. You know, in the beginning though, it was hard though. The beginning obviously is really hard because, you know, you got to sit up and you can't sleep well. But I feel like after that part, it's kind of just a process of getting back to it. So with Aaron Rodgers, man, he's crazy, bro. I don't know. Obviously, he's got all these different
He has to
treatments
be
and
Superman, bro.
stuff.
If he comes back from it, he's Superman.
Yeah, no,
He
bro. If
is
he does
Superman.
that, he definitely. But listen, this is the thing, though. You know, you see a lot of these, like LeBron and all these other guys. They have the finances and the connections to find people to really help them heal faster than, you know what I mean. Like Kobe used to go over to Germany and do
Mm-hmm.
the orthokind, and then they brought it out here. You know, it was a couple guys on the team doing it too, and then I ended up doing
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
so you know, it's once you find out that thing, and that's what he did. You know, and hopefully it's a future for everybody else.
It's funny because like he's probably in a black hole somewhere doing ayahuasca and coming back and like, hey, I'm ready, guys.
I'm
What's
ready.
up?
No,
Yeah.
bro, he knows some stuff, man. He definitely knows some stuff.
He has to the way he's speaking, man. It's
Yeah,
something he has up his sleeve, man.
yeah.
It's
And
something,
even, I
definitely.
mean, even JD said this week, like he kind of walked it back, but JD's like, yeah, we expect him to be back. Like, I don't know.
And what? But I feel like, but then what is this? Like, this will be so crazy, man. I don't. It's hard to even imagine him coming back. Say that he comes back right before the playoffs, right? Like that would be the wildest thing you would ever see, bro.
Well, do you think this team makes the playoffs, you know, with the team they have now in order to get him to come back?
So to me, this is what I say. Defensively, they're there. Obviously, special teams, they're there. The offense is just has to stay healthy. Like you think about all the injuries, majority of them on the offense. That's crazy, man. So like, even if they're executing the plays well, which obviously we can talk about that, and then you know making the plays you're supposed to make, it's still so many injuries that are just cutting you down. You know, so it just makes it so hard to stay cohesive, and that's the biggest thing. Is like if you can have a team that just stays together the rest of the year, you can go far. But if everybody's getting hurt, then it makes it that much more challenging.
For sure.
Speaking of a team sticking together, Q, you've been around it. I've been around it. We've been around teams where guys were not the coolest.
Yeah.
And you've been around some teams where guys were getting along, and you can see that on the field. Being around the building, like, what are you seeing between the players, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the conversations like, the energy like in
It's
the
a
building, bro?
it feels like a family, you know, it feels, I mean, so, you know, I only get to see so much, right? Like, especially during training camp, but even, you know, training camp is some of the hardest times. That's the grind, you know, and you can really tell that guys are staying connected and staying together. You know, at least that's what I've seen. Then obviously you get a good look with Hard Knocks, you know. So to me, like Coach Saleh kind of has the ship on the right way. The only thing I would say is you know, they just got to figure it out on the field, obviously, with the consistency. But in terms of family, like it looks really like, you know, he's done a good job of creating that for them, where it's not like a lot of drama. You definitely don't hear no drama coming out of the locker room, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have Quincy Enunwa here on In-Flight Snack, and I want to get to your career a little bit and your guys' career because you guys played together, obviously. But before we do that, I actually have two questions about current players who are not on the Jets, but because you mentioned it, the injuries. Daniel Jones this week, there was it was foggy with was he cleared, was he not cleared, and then you know on Thursday, Dable saying we don't know when he's going to play next. Friday, apparently he was cleared, but we didn't know about that till Sunday. It seems really confusing, but it's the same type of thing you're saying. He can go out there, he can practice, he can play, but he's not cleared. What do you think is going on behind the scenes there with the Giants?
Somebody else had asked me this the other day, and I don't know, man. But like, just from having the injury, I would say that you know, it's not something to play with, you know. So it's hard to really tell. Like in the beginning, when I first had mine, there was like practices I would get out and come back in, and I would have just weird sensations and weird feelings, you know, and I didn't know how to explain it or anything like that. So like, you know, it would just be so random. Like I would fall down and then I would feel something, or sometimes I would jump and then I would feel something like a jolt through my body or whatever. So I say all that to say, if he has anything similar to that, like, you know, it's hard to stay consistent on that injury report. So it could be something like that. You know, if I'm thinking the other way, you know, they could have thought, well, let's throw him out there now since, you know, we got all this stuff going on, like just try and fight it out. That's another viewpoint of it. But I honestly think, bro, it's just a tough injury to navigate.
Yeah, and Tyrod got hurt. It's kind of weird because like Tyrod got hurt. Now you're going to throw him against Max Crosby, who's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. Like, that's tough. Last question about the current players. Sam Darnold. Do you think he gets a shot in San Francisco? I want to see it. Like, as a Sam Darnold fan myself, like I liked him at USC, and then with you guys, he was fun.
Yeah.
Purdy's not looked great, right?
Man, I hope he does. To be honest with you, I haven't really been watching San Fran like that. I'm just hearing a lot of the reports coming out and the highlights, and I know that they're saying a lot of bad stuff about Purdy. I would love to watch like the actual film and see like what's going on. Like, is it really worth benching him? But man, I hope Sam gets another chance, man. Every time he gets out there, I'll be happy, you know, because this is the reason why I'll be riding for Zach, is because, you know, I know that challenge of being a young quarterback. Like, I've seen it. And actually, this is something I wanted to talk with Bilal about. So we could talk about it on here. What the challenge with playing young quarterback, I mean, you know, you play with Fitz and you play with I mean, you even play with Geno too, but you play with Fitz and you play with Sam. So would you say that the younger quarterbacks, or Sam's situation, he had to know a lot more protection, or the issue was that he didn't understand the protections, and that's what kind of made it hard for him? Because I felt like they put a lot on him in terms of that, whereas before it was either on Nick or it was on Fitz.
I felt like they put a lot on Sam's plate.
Yeah.
I honestly did, man. Like, and on top of that, man, that was probably one of the hardest playbooks too that he had to learn, bro.
You're talking about Todd or Gase?
We're talking about Gase. I'm talking about Gase.
His first year was
his first year was with, but I think a lot was put on him, and I think a lot is put on quarterbacks coming out of college.
Yeah,
because I feel like if you look at the college systems, bro, they're doing a check with me on the sideline.
I know.
And that's not helping their IQ. That's a coach putting his player in the best position, and is not really giving him the chance to really identify what he needs to do. It's him solely depending on the coach, and then you see that effect go into the NFL, where I think I talked to you about it, Rami, when you see the quarterback from Houston, the rookie, who was that? CJ Stroud. Talking in the interview, talking about he's telling his guy to do this and do. You don't hear that from a rookie quarterback. I mean, that's sensational. That's beautiful. Whereas,
so how do you bridge that? How do you bridge that gap?
Honestly, I think that's just the player. That's the player.
Yeah.
That's the player. I don't know. Maybe putting in extra work. I don't know. Maybe the system is fit. I've been a part, and I think Quincy can attest to this. I've been a part of offenses where the terminology had you thinking too much on the field. And then there was some offenses where it put you in the best position. It was simple to learn. And now you're playing fast. Where poor Sam Darnold comes in, man. Honestly, I didn't think he was expecting to start. I thought Josh McCown was going to be the guy.
That too.
And he was going to have time to learn. And then it was boom. No. That was an opportunity for him to get shot. And like, he's thrown into this fire in New York. And like, we all know how tough it is to play in New York, dog.
Yeah.
But they did put a lot on his plate, man. And I felt so bad at the time for Sam, man. And I was hoping he had enough time to develop.
Right.
And not only that, his second year, you're changing.
And you switching offensive
coordinators, bro.
Come on, man.
I mean, that's so tough to do, bro.
That's why I feel about Zach, bro. That's why I feel the way about Zach. I'm like, bro, yes, there's a lot of mental stuff for him. Like, in the beginning, I feel like he was playing overly confident. Let me play hero ball to some degree, And it was like, you're doing too much, bro. This year, it feels like he's really following the offense, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Now, he's making mistakes, but he's making just like quarterback mistakes, not like doing too much this year. So I say that because I be on him, because I'm like, bro, like, everybody's like, oh, this guy is not doing well. I'm like, bro, have you seen his path? His quarterback coach passes away his first year, bro. That's crazy. Like, then you're changing coordinators. You got a first year coordinator. You know what I mean? So to me, I get it. He was drafted high. So like, at this point now, somebody just didn't make the best decision, but at the end of the day, right, you have a guy that's still here and still can be functional and serviceable and do well for you, and that's why I'm like you guys got to see this, like as a fan base, right? Like, so I'd be just, having conversations sometimes, because to me, I know why people are upset. And I think that at this point now, like all that has happened, but he's getting better, and he's not really, you didn't go into it with like him being your starting quarterback, like Aaron Rodgers went down, and now he's the guy that's coming in. I mean, what other backup is playing like this? I don't know.
Probably Josh Dobbs, who just got traded to be the starter in Minnesota also, right?
Right. I mean, it's not a lot of guys, though. Not a lot of guys are coming in, and helping you get these many wins.
Yeah, and I mean, Bilal and I talked about this a lot. We talk about, like, you talked about him doing too much his first year and now feeling like he's playing in a system. Do you feel like sometimes he needs to let it go a little bit? Because Bilal and I sometimes see that maybe he's holding back a little too much, where sometimes this defense is so good, just take a couple of chances. If you throw a pick or two, this defense is going to go out there and pick you up.
Yeah, I feel like, and I don't want to make no assumptions, I know that the position that he's in is tough. So, you don't want to do too much. I mean, even when he plays good, he's not exactly getting like the most love, right? So to have the situation that he's had coming up to this year, I mean, at least if I was in that position, I would be very wary about my next my next move, because of everything that's happened up until now. So, I think that he's doing his best to stretch it when he can, and you can see it. Like there's moments like he threw one pass, I think it was like third, fourth quarter, and he was moving up in the pocket and somebody had grabbed him. He threw it to Lazard like this, like just showing some crazy ability, and it was a drop. And it's like, you see the talent coming out and you see him taking chances, so I think it'll come, man. I feel like as he gets more comfortable, as he gets more opportunities, we're going to see, him really kind of stretch it within the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. All right. Bilal, you wanted to shift to some career stuff for you guys. So let's take it in that direction.
Man, honestly, Q, man, just being around the building, I came back. I got an opportunity to see you in training camp. And the first thing I thought about was, man, how has the transition been for you, dog? Like, I know what it's like for me. I think this is something that's really important, because, you play this career and you're a fan favorite, but man, people want to see what you're doing outside of football, but they don't really see that transition in between A and B.
Right.
That's the hardest part, man. So how has this transition been for you? And are you enjoying being back in the building?
It was tough, bro. It was really tough in the beginning. Like, I think anytime you lose that identity, of being a football player, I feel like I was doing a lot of prep, for, afterwards, but, it's not going to stop you from feeling those feelings, right? Like, I can do all the prep I want, but eventually I'm gonna have to sit down and really think about like something that I've had for my whole life is just gone. And not even because I wanted it to be gone, right? Like it's just taken from me. So yeah, it was tough, bro. And I had a lot, especially because I was doing that at the same time that the pandemic was happening. So then you got all those things going on. So, and a lot of isolation. But like, that's just life at the end of the day, right? Like you have to go through those moments, and then you come back up and you realize, like what you've done and who you are. You can sit on all those different things. And I got a great opportunity through EA to reach out to. He reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do this. Prior to that, I was doing some coaching, and I was enjoying that. But then he reached out to me and said, do you want to come and do this with the team? And I said, why not, man? Like, this is a good opportunity. I had another opportunity somewhere else, and I didn't want to do it because I felt like it was far. So this was like, man, I get to be right near home right now. So it was like the perfect opportunity for me, man. And it's been cool, bro, because, I'm enjoying being back in the game, and watching the game. When I'm on the field, bro, it's so crazy. I'm rambling, but, yeah, it's all good.
It's all good, bro. I mean, that transition, so I was opposite, bro. I was the guy that I wanted to be far away from football as possible. I wanted nothing to do with it, right? and I wanted to try different careers and do different things. You know, I got into new construction, bro. Did that for 3 years, and that was the most miserable time of my life.
Mm.
And I remember I went up Brian Winters. We went up, my wife and I went to visit the Winters up in Cleveland. And I remember getting a phone call from B. Marshall, bro, Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Marshall. And he told me, and I'm kind of telling him, you know, I'm kind of getting back into the NFL legends community and reaching out, and I'm finally starting to answer the all the emails that they send you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the first thing he said was, "B, you got to get back. You got to get back involved with it, bro. It's in us. This is our
yeah,
DNA, right?"
yeah,
And man, I'll tell you this, man, bro. For a dude that tried to get away from this game for 3 years, bro, most miserable time of my life, bro. Got back to ball, bro. Even
mm-hmm.
coaching it at a youth level, and now I'm in the the youth advisory committee in the NFL. It's this is what we are, bro.
Yeah,
And now we get to pass that knowledge down to the young guys. Now you get to see the young guys, and you get to be that guy, bro.
yeah.
That's guiding these guys and keeping that football alive, bro. This is a great game.
Nah, definitely, bro. I feel like that's a big piece of it. I be telling guys all the time, man, you got to get back to it, man, because exactly what he said. It is us, right? Like we've been doing it for like 20 plus years, bro. I mean, that's crazy to do one thing for that long. That's your identity, you know. So you got to figure out another way to stay connected.
Yeah, and one of the things you guys keep talking about is that connection, right? That you have. You said Brandon called you up and was like, get back into it. Part of that, I feel like that connection, you talked about being in isolation and that during the pandemic, and that obviously played into it also. But part of what you guys have in common is that you are lifelong Jets. So what is that like? What is that? Does that mean something special to you guys that like, hey, now I want to be back with the team? Both of
Yeah,
you are back with the team now in a
yeah,
way, right?
yeah.
Because that connection that you had with the Jets in particular.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I could say that it's like your alma mater in a way now, like it's another college, to have been here and experienced it and only experienced it. It's a really cool feeling. And I'm glad that, it ended in that way. Like that's something I'm really, I hang my hat on and appreciate every time when I think about my career. So yeah, obviously, I can also talk about, even the fan base, having the love that they give back, bro. That's another thing that I try to tell guys, is like, this is they'll come down hard on you, but it's all love, man. It's like real love, bro.
Yeah. Hey, and you talk about being back in MetLife, and you talk about the love. Like Quincy, we didn't have, if you look at us statistically, bro, we didn't have crazy numbers, bro.
Yeah,
But you talked about it earlier. You talked about the fan base loving those guys that go hard.
yeah,
Man, bro, I watched them bring you in as a receiver, bro. I seen you like not complain about getting on special teams, which a lot of young guys struggle with. They go from the stardom to you're on special teams.
yeah,
I saw you grind from special teams, getting the opportunity to start. I think you had a great core of receivers, Eric Decker, Brandon Marshall, that
yeah,
you can look up and kind of like get a good idea of what a professional looks like
yeah,
from a consistent standpoint, man, and guys that had good numbers throughout their career. But we didn't have crazy numbers, bro. But
yeah.
we got a lot of respect in the fan base.
Definitely.
And it goes back to, I think it's one of those things where, hey, that coach is gonna say, if I had 11 Quincy's on the field, we'll be undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody else scored, bro, you was the first one in the end zone. Same thing for me. I always celebrated my teammates, bro. And like honestly, bro, this is what I'm seeing from this team, and that's the scary part
Yeah,
about it. Is like they're not even clicking on the offensive side of the ball yet, and
yeah.
and yet they found a way to win 4 games, which is hard to do, and put 3 in a row, bro, 3 back to
Right,
back to back, which is hard to do in this league, bro.
right.
So I'm sitting here as a fan, right, as a former player, thinking like, man, if they get it somewhat right on that side, you're looking at a playoff team that's ready for Aaron Rodgers to come back and lead them, bro. And I think I told Rami this. I said this is going to be an historical season. I said it in the beginning. I said what the defense is doing, obviously picking up and carrying the offense along
Yeah,
with it's just you can just see the special teams unit and the defense carrying the offense, and that's what you want as a fan base. Like I know it's sometimes ugly to watch, but man, it's a dub. We talk about the ugly wins, Rami, all the
Yeah,
time, right?
bro.
It's like, why can't we celebrate the wins? Like, offense was this and that. But if that offense can find a way, bro, to click, and we don't need nothing like crazy. Just find a
Yeah.
way to click where they can put up 2-3 touchdowns a game, decent game. It's gonna, bro. I see y'all in Vegas, bro. I'm telling you that now, dog.
Go buy your tickets now.
I already got them.
Go.
Hey,
No,
it's a CBS Super Bowl this year, so I could probably get there through work anyway.
yeah, I feel that, bro. Listen, it the sky's the limit, man. The sky's really the limit, right? Like they have all the chemistry, like you said. They also just are grinding out wins, and I think that obviously, people want to see more excitement out of this team on the offensive side. But I think if they can just get it figured out with health wise, and then obviously just staying consistent, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I have a question for you because I'm getting to know Bilal over the last like couple months,
Yeah.
but I don't, we still haven't met in person, which is crazy. But
Wow.
do you have a favorite memory of your time playing with him, whether it was on the field or kind of like a funny story off the field? Just something. Just give me something. I need to start asking every guest this question.
You know what? So what surprised me the most was when we had Bilal's Halloween party. I was like, oh man. First off, where were you guys?
Oh no,
Kanye and
where are we going with this one? Where
I
we
saw your
going?
wife posting the pictures, by the way,
Where
Bilal.
we
So
going?
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Hey, listen, I'm not
we
going
were
far. I'm not gonna
Kanye,
listen. I'm not going
Kanye
over
and
crazy.
Kim,
I'm just
man.
saying, like, I knew Bilal as business, so it was cool to see, he had the whole party for us and everything. I had to show up. I'm like, oh no, Bilal having a party?
Oh,
I'm in there.
oh yeah.
I'm
That was
in
what,
there.
5 years ago. Yeah, that was 5 years ago. 30th.
And it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. Otherwise, as obviously on the field, bro. Bilal was just, it was I watched. So sometimes during the season, I like to watch when I was playing just to kind of put my head back in the game. Like it really helps me kind of like remember, like, okay, this is what was going on in this. And then like, okay, I can really kind of put the two together with what I'm watching now. And I was just watching Bilal, man. Dude was, ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. I was watching the Browns game when Fitz audible to a draw
Mm-hmm.
and Bilal took it in for a touchdown. That's another thing, real quick. First off, crazy touchdown. I didn't even think he was going to score, and you made it. But then the other thing is Fitz knowing to check to that, right? Like paint. It's not like he said check or anything like that. Like he saw that and then audible to that. So I say all that to say I can't wait till we do see Aaron Rodgers run this offense, right? Because like I feel like right now you have all these things going on, and like Zach is just running the offense. You know what I mean? Like there's no nuance to it. There's no like I know I can check to this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what really plays the difference between a veteran and a young quarterback, man. Because when Fitz was playing, man, that's when I had my best year because it takes so much off of everybody else's plate.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that last episode, Rami,
Yeah,
talking about
100%.
how the Giants were just blitzing and blitzing and blitzing,
Mm-hmm.
and at what point do you as a quarterback come up, identify that, and get to the best play
Another play,
possible? You know what
right?
I'm saying? Like, because if you blitz Aaron, he's going
Aaron's
he's
gonna
going to
kill
check
you.
it.
I
He's
mean,
going to get
he's
you. He's
gonna,
going to do
gonna
something.
find the one-on-ones and
Yeah.
just kill you. Yeah,
Yep.
and I did. It's funny because Bilal was never a guy who talked to the media a lot while he was here, but now he's a member of the media. So congrats on that. I mean,
Oh my goodness, yes. Hey, my wife said that today. She was like, "You didn't." I had one interview in college. I did one. It was my
Yeah.
senior year, and then I did maybe a handful in the NFL. And she said, "It's crazy how all of a sudden you want to sit in front of the camera, talk on the
hey, yeah, you
microphone."
talk Jets for 3 hours every week with me.
And she said I needed to talk to somebody else anyway. I was talking too much football to her. She was like, "Listen,
Oh,
either
okay.
you go get a
You
job
got to
talking
get
about
his
this,
knowledge, man.
or I'm leaving."
Well,
So,
my wife said the same thing because she doesn't care about football. She's like, I don't want to talk to you about this.
oh my
I want to
goodness.
do something fun here because a lot of times you guys talk about the relationship with the fans and the players and different things, and it sounds like clearly, Quincy, your career. But a lot of times the fans, I find this with Tiki all the time. I work with Tiki Barber, and he has zero memories from his career, and his career was a little bit before you guys. But sometimes the fans, because we live it so much, we're such diehards, especially Jet fans, we remember certain things more than you guys remember yourselves about your career. So I have a few questions I wanted to ask the two of you. I'm gonna switch off. I want to ask you guys questions about your own career. So it's gonna start 3 questions each, and then we have like 2 joint questions. So I'm gonna start easy. I'm gonna start with Quincy. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Quincy. Do you know who you scored your first touchdown of your career against, when it was, where it was?
Yes. It was game 1 of the Bengals, 2016. It was like a pick route with B Marsh on the left side, and it was like a flat for like 3 yards or something like that. I caught it like jumping up and didn't do no celebration or nothing, but I was hyped. I even know my first catch. I'm never forgetting those.
Yeah, that's why it's the easy one. All right, you're 1 for 1. Bilal, yours? Do you remember yours?
Yeah, my first career touchdown was 2012. First St. Louis Rams, my first and second career.
Correct.
Actually. I had two rushing toutouchdowns that game.
2 touchdowns in a win against St. Louis in St. Louis.
That was against Shoddy too.
Yep. And it was week 11, a week 11 win in 2012. All right, so this is a little bit harder now, because this not as memorable, because you never know in the moment that it's going to be the last. But I'll start with you, Bilal. Do you remember your last career touchdown? This is harder.
My last career touchdown.
We're coming to you next, Quincy.
My last career touchdown came against the Miami Dolphins.
No.
Nailed it. Yes.
It was against the Miami Dolphins, and it was a reception touchdown. And that was against
a receiving
Gase.
Touchdown from Sam Darnold in 2018 in week 2.
It was a reroute. Yeah, I remember that one. Yep. It meant
all right. Do you remember your last touchdown?
Bro. Yeah, I feel like it was Detroit.
Yes, that's correct.
And my last. Damn, that year was so trash, bro.
That was Sam Darnold in his first game, threw a touchdown to you on the Monday Night Football win in Detroit after throwing the pick 6 as his first career pass.
To me,
right?
That pick 6 was play. To me.
Yeah, the wheel route where Sam Darnold's all the way on the other side of the field.
He didn't put no air under it. I'm like, man.
He thought he was like Zach over there.
He put up 40 points that game, though, man.
Oh, I know. Bounce back.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that was his first career pass, and Jet fans are freaking out. We're like, this is the guy we got. And then he put it on him the rest of the game. It was great, whatever. All right. So do you know what your career high, I'll start with you, Quincy, what your career high, when it was, what game it was, how many yards it was, your career high receiving yards?
I want to say 108 against the Patriots. And I had a touchdown.
It was 109, but yes, against the Patriots in 2016, I'll give you that one. You're 3 for 3. We'll go to the bonus round in a second. Bilal, if you get this one, what was your? I'm gonna get for you. It's rushing. We'll do rushing. Your career high rushing.
It was San Fran. Oh, hold on. It was San Fran. Was it San Fran?
I think San Fran was your second. No, it looks like
Buffalo.
Buffalo was 3rd or 4th. I have
here. Oh my
here,
goodness!
Yeah. What I see here is Jacksonville in 2017.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
How could I forget
163 rushing yards and 27 receiving yards. 190 yards in the game against Jacksonville. You went nuts.
Oh my goodness! I can't believe I forgot about that.
So let's do this, Bilal. I'll ask you. You said it. How many times in your career have you gone over 100 yards? You just gave me 3 of them. So how many times in your career did you rush for over 100 yards? You told me Buffalo. You told me San Francisco. You told me we got Jacksonville.
I think I got 6, 5.
You have 5 twice against Buffalo.
Yeah.
Once against San Francisco. One was 13. 3 times in 2017 you rushed for over 100 yards in a game. 3 times. And the most recent one was in 2017 against the Chargers. So Chargers this week, Chargers on Monday night.
Let's do it.
The San Fran one was 2016, right?
you had against San Fran in 2016, correct?
2016, yeah.
Yep.
I
So
remember that
so
one.
far,
The
Quincy knows
overtime one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quincy knows
With
Bilal's
Bryce
career better
Petty.
than
Well, because
Bilal.
Quincy jumped off sides
With Bryce
and thought
Petty.
the flag was on him.
Yeah. So
TJ false started. And,
They didn't even throw
They
it,
didn't
though.
throw it though. They threw the offsides on San Fran, bro.
I just stood there the whole play. I was like, oh, shit.
If we could get 145 rushing yards from Brees on Sunday, I'll take it. Or on Monday rather against LA.
Yeah.
Recreate what you did against LA. And last for you, Quincy, you seem to know both your careers. Do you know, have you and Bilal ever scored a touchdown in the same game? If so, when, how many times, and what game was it?
I know
It
exactly
was
what game.
Cleveland.
You already mentioned it. There you go.
It was Cleveland.
Yeah.
That Cleveland game, the first touchdown of the game was Bilal, a 35-yard run, and then Quincy, you had the 24-yard pass from Fitzpatrick.
We won that
So
one. Did we win that one?
you won against Cleveland. It was let me look at it real quick. Yeah, 31-28 against Cleveland in week 8. Cleveland was 0-8. Yikes.
I'm gonna be honest with you too, bro. It's so I don't know why it's so hard to win in Cleveland. Like it's no matter what their record is going in,
and their defense is so good this year.
It's hard to win in Cleveland. It's hard to win.
We played a lot in Cleveland too. We played that Monday night game too.
Yeah.
You know why you play a lot in Cleveland? I don't want to be mean about this, but
we're the lowest on the AFC East.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you play the lowest team in each division. That's how it works, and they're always the lowest in the AFC North.
I'm like, fuck, we stay playing Cleveland.
We stay playing there, bro.
You play Cleveland every year.
They don't even have good restaurants.
Were you guys there? I think you guys were Monday Night Football at home again. Monday Night Football at home against Cleveland when Sam had mono.
Oh no, I was hurt that year.
Oh, you were hurt that year?
Was that? Yeah, I think was it
2019?
Was it in Cleveland?
No, that was at MetLife.
That was at MetLife.
I was there. You guys wore the black jerseys, I'm pretty sure.
Out with mono.
That was a Le'Veon Bell year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was there because I was there week 1 when he caught the touchdown,
and then everyone thought she wrote.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, that was it. This is gonna be great. Le'Veon's got the touchdown. Blah blah blah. No.
Yeah, that was a rough year, bro.
That was bad.
I mean, there's a lot of rough years. There's some good years. I mean,
that was the worst though, by far. That was by far the worst.
What, 2019 Sam's second year? That was Gase's first year.
That was by far.
I mean, okay, so that was the worst year, and you and I kind of talked about this already, Bilal. But like, how did Gase last the second year? You went 7-9 that year. It wasn't like you finished the season strong.
I don't know.
I wasn't there, so
I wasn't there in 2020.
No, you finished 7-9 in 2019.
Oh yeah, I was hurt in
2019. I don't know how we did. Honestly, I don't know how. I mean, that was on top of I came in late, and then obviously they wanted Le'Veon to be the guy, but that was the hardest offense you had to learn. Like I'm gonna be honest, that was my 7th offensive coordinator, and that was the hardest offense I've ever had to learn, and I just think it was just too much. Like I said,
you get that. He was trying to be too smart and overcomplicated.
Too smart, and I'm like, listen, man, like 35. Just call it 35 zone. Why are we calling it 35 zone and then calling it turbo? Like so many code words for. I'm just call it 35 zone. Nobody. If you want to call it turbo in like 2 minutes and we screaming out stuff and we doing it, that's fine. But like calling up, bro, it was an entire sentence.
Yeah,
all code words, bro. And I'm like,
this for a guy in his second year and Sam Darnold coming from
poor Sam. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, listen, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? And I was forced to play that veteran role. I wasn't in the huddle with him. That year, I'm gonna be honest. I think Teddy Bridgewater should have made the team. He was killing it.
To be honest with you, 2018, he should have made the team.
Mm-hmm.
No, 18.
It was 19.
Yeah.
No, 18.
18 was the first year, 19 was the second year. Yeah. And then meanwhile,
I thought when Teddy throws a pass, bro, like it's like a pillow hitting your hands.
Is that a real thing? Like somebody was saying about Rodgers, like how the passes he throws, or it was last year. Somebody was saying about Mike White versus Zach. It was like Mike throws such a catchable ball. What does that mean?
Yeah, like it's just like having touch.
Yeah,
you gotta have touch.
It's and Teddy got crazy touch. Like he would throw it, like it would be like one route that we ran a lot when he was there. This got me going back. Was like this deep curl route. So I'll run it, and you'd be like 20 yards downfield, and most times the guy has to drive it. So that shit, it's it's gonna hit your
I'm
hands.
yeah.
He would throw it with such touch and anticipation. I would turn around and I think it would be like this, and it just falls in my hand. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So is that, you think that has something to do with the Teddy 2 gloves, that he's wearing both a glove
I
on
think
his
it's
Oh,
hand?
that,
yeah.
but it's also just, as you get older, you get more experience, you just learn. Like young quarterbacks tend to, just kind of just want
Everything's
to
hard.
go.
Everything,
Yeah.
even the little screens out of the backfield to the backs, it's just like, bro,
Yeah.
why you trying to knock my head off? Like, just touch it, just a
Yeah.
touch.
So you think
Yeah,
that's why
man.
maybe some of Zach's, like, the drops, maybe some of it's on Zach and not on the receivers? We talked about this with
Ooh.
Lazard. Like, Alan Lazard's a veteran guy. He's leading the league in drop percentage this year.
Yeah. You know what, bro? So when I watched Lazard before he got here, to me, he didn't seem like the most sure-handed. I think he's a talented receiver, but I knew that there would be some drops. So when I see him this year, some of them are disappointing, but then he's made some catches, some pretty big catches. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
okay,
made some of the huge ones.
yeah. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, he had one game, I don't remember. He had a few different targets. Dang.
I think against Kansas City
Chiefs?
was,
Yeah, I think it
yeah,
was the
because he
Chiefs.
had the touchdown. Yeah.
He had a pretty good game catching the ball. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think one thing I'll say is if you are even kind of shaky with catching, when it starts raining, that's a whole nother mind game for you. You know what I mean? So like I'm trying not to kind of watch this past game and think like, oh man, like, this is the end of the world, because that rain, man, that changes up so much for a receiver, man. You got to think so different.
Even Garrett dropped one that was like,
Yeah.
I mean, that ball's heavy, Rami.
Yeah.
And that ball's dark. It turns dark,
Yeah.
hard to see. You can't tell if
Yeah.
it's a spiral or duck. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really
Slippery.
judge when it's coming. Like, and
Let's
it's
pray.
heavy.
We've had like
Yeah.
10 straight weeks of bad weather on the weekends here in New York.
I
Like, let's
know.
pray for good weather on Monday night.
Oh yeah.
It's already getting cold, so I mean, it's ridiculous. Can you, like, how amazed were you that a third string center called up from the practice squad was able to run up, know how to spot it, spike it? Like, how are they able to pull that off?
I don't know, man.
And Lazard should have gone straight down. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely should have went back straight down. But yeah, bro, I mean, that's a testament to the coaching.
100%.
That's a testament to the coaching. You make sure you drill it into your guys so that whoever's in that position knows exactly what to do. I know Zach said that he had, also told him before the snap or something like that. So
Yeah, they were lucky they had like extra time in the huddle because the Kayvon
of
Thibodeau
that
offside.
penalty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you guys
Right.
seen any of this Kayvon stuff with I know I work for
Slowing it
WFAN.
down.
No, him against him and Carl Banks against
Oh,
WF. Have you seen some of that
I
stuff?
did see that. I was kind of happy. I mean, I was kind of happy, not happy, but happy that he had a good game.
Yeah, no, I was definitely happy for him, and
Yeah.
obviously Carl was happy, but
Yeah.
Ultimately the Jets won anyway on an
I know.
offside, so I don't care. Like, hey, it's the Kayvon Thibodeau game. Well, Quincy, tell us what you're doing with the Jets now. Tell the fans what you're doing with the team these days.
Yeah, so I'm on I guess you could call me like a game analyst. So do pre and post game shows. So we have a pre-game show that we do at home games. We're at the tailgate zone, Bud Light tailgate zone out there. We had a studio set up, and you can come and watch it. And then afterwards, we go to the studio and we do our post game show. And it's cool, man. It's being there and talking ball, man. And that's what we like to do. That's what we like to do, and it's just helping me really honestly. Like honestly, I got into it because I'm not like, I don't love like public speaking. I don't love front facing stuff. So when the opportunity came to me, I was like, this is an opportunity to, force me to grow, So it's been challenging, but it's been rewarding too. And it's really helping me. So I'm happy.
Bilal, you got anything else for us?
Man, you talked about coming into midlife. I know everybody has their like thing that they have getting ready. Obviously you're not playing, so that pressure's off, but you still got to go perform. You still got to go to work.
Right.
What's the difference of it? Like, what's the feeling? Running out of the tunnel versus knowing that, man, now it's home. What I mean? You retired a Jet, bro. You know what I'm saying? And now you come out on game day and you still part of this organization. Like run us through that feeling, bro. Like,
yeah,
is it that same feeling running out of tunnel to go play a game? Like, is it a little different? Like what is that feeling like?
It's hard to describe. I mean, it feels good, like when I drive up to the stadium, and you're seeing everybody from a different perspective. Like, I think that's the biggest thing is like, we went through the same parking lots, we did the same walk through the tunnel. Now I'm coming in and I have a whole different perspective than I ever did before. And I get to see it from a different side. And it's just cool to do it, man. It's like, it's hard to explain, but you've been to the green room now. So like, going in there and experiencing that and not even knowing about that while we was playing, like just small things like that, it's like there's so much on the other side of this game that, it's interesting to learn.
Well, I got to get you out there. I got to see you. Maybe I'll see you Monday night at the game. Hopefully I'll be there. But we got to get Bilal out here. Bilal
Yeah,
hasn't
we got the what you call it coming up, huh?
Yeah, I can't make it, bro. I took that national
Oh.
coaching job, so that's time up all my weekends, man.
And Monday night we have what is it? Revis night, I'm pretty sure, right? I think they're
Is
honoring
Revis coming out?
I don't know. I gotta see. I'm not
I
sure.
have to see about that one.
Yeah. I think Monday night they're honoring Revis. I saw it or something like that. So like I
Oh
said,
yes, because we honored Klecko.
You did Klecko,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll see you. Well, I see you on you'll be there. All right, perfect.
Yep, I'll be there.
So and as long as we can convince Bilal, I know it's last minute. Let's get you there. But we really appreciate you doing this. This is fun. I said this at the top. I said this before we started, but two guys who really, as a Jets fan, we appreciate, because the Jets fans appreciate guys who worked hard, put in the work, just put their head down, weren't about themselves or about the team. And so two of the fan favorites here, and we appreciate you. All right.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Appreciate you, Q.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for doing this.